what do the Baptist religion come from? You see, it began in 1608, right? So, do you understand that you following that religion, you were following a lie? You understand that?
No, I don't.
John the Baptist, he was a Levite, son of Zachariah and Elizabeth. He never said be a Baptist. We give you straight scripture. And God said you gotta go precept upon precept to get the proper understanding.
I'm a juggernaut. They ain't about that action, they just talk a lot. Yeah.
We are one nation of people.
Double shot.
Now, get in contact with us, sis. Understand, this is about you coming back to who you are. All right, sis. All right, so my brother, real quick. So, you grew up what? Baptist, Pentecost? How you grew up, bro?
Well, I grew up in a Baptist church, but let me tell you about that.
I don't want a speech.
I ain't gonna give you no speech.
I'm only gonna be up here for a second.
Okay.
So, when the sister walked, wait, woo! Lord have mercy. When the sister walked up, I asked her a question. I said, where do the Baptist religion come from? You see, it began in 1608, right? So, do you understand that you following that religion, you were following a lie? Do you understand that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the white man gave you your religion. You think the white man gave you something good?
Hold on, wait a minute.
The same folks who ain't treat us right, you think they taught us right?
I ain't said it. Listen to me.
It's easy.
It's
easy.
I'm agreeing with you, bro.
Okay, so it's easy. The same folks who didn't treat us right, you think they taught us right?
No.
No, get Psalms 50 verse 16. I gotta show you that, my brother. Because I know you got business to do, even though it's the Lord's Sabbath. Give me Psalm 50 verse 16. I'm gonna show you what God said about the white man teaching us anything. Psalm 50 verse 16. Read.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked.
It says unto the wicked. Do you know what race of people God calls the wicked? Did you learn that in church? What race of people on this earth that God referred to as the wicked? Who is that?
Would it be the Caucasians?
Yes. What's their biblical name, my brother? I want you to know this when you leave today. What's their biblical name?
Caucasians?
No, that's not their biblical name. Read it, come on.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50.
Their biblical name, Malachi, come on.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith.
It says, whereas Edom says, E-D-O-M. Their father name was Esau. He like eating meat with blood in it. So they said, we'll call you Edom, meaning red. Esau means wasted away is he, meaning he got no melanin. He got no pigment. You can see his blue veins, his green veins. He got varicose before he even get old. Read it again, come on.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate place.
The return is talking about this over here. When they return, it was called the Renaissance era, when they whitewashed black imagery all throughout Europe and all throughout the world. They called it the Renaissance, meaning rebirth. The Bible says return, Renaissance, rebirth. It's all talking about the same history. Them coming back out of the caves and they subdued us because we were the Moors. We were ruling during the Byzantine Empire. Come on.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build.
They shall build. They built America. They went to the moon. They had an industrial revolution. They constantly building. It's always traffic because they always building. Read.
But I will throw down.
That's why Christ is coming back, because we in the lowest state. We suffering. We being brutalized all over the four corners of the earth. That's why Christ coming back. A king don't leave his throne unless something is wrong. You understand that? That's why Christ coming back. It said what?
But I will throw down.
Christ coming back to judge our enemies. Now, Psalm 50, about them teaching us. Back to Psalms 50, read.
Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 16.
Because that's what they gave us. Not only did they build infrastructure, they also came with the cross. They also came with a doctrine all throughout the four corners of the earth. Christ said what?
But unto the wicked.
Unto the wicked, who is Esau. Esau is the wicked. Unto the wicked, read.
God said.
What God say?
What hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
What hast thou to do to declare my statutes? The Baptist religion. You got a man in the Bible named John the Baptist. He was referred to as John the Baptist. He was a Levite, son of Zachariah and Elizabeth. He never said be a Baptist. He baptized you because that was an old covenant practice, meaning you were cleansed. Then you got the Mormon Church, Joseph Smith.
I'm not disagreeing with
So
you.
what I'm showing you, my brothers, we have been lied to. So now you got your brothers. We your brothers. We ain't out here to fight against you. We the same people. So now we come out here showing you, my brother, it's things that these religions never taught us. So we gotta what? What Christ said? Be born again. He said we gotta be born again. Meaning what? It ain't talking about you go back into your mother's womb. It's your mind. We've been keep Sunday church. Is that biblical? Sunday church, is that biblical?
I don't know if Sunday church is biblical. But worshiping
Genesis
the
2.
Lord is.
Okay,
Worshiping
but
God is.
remember, God is a man of war. And men of war, you can't just come any kind of way.
Right.
You got to come in order.
Right.
So I'm going to show you what God said about what day to worship. Read.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work.
On the seventh day, which is Friday sundown until Saturday sundown.
Yeah.
You're standing in the seventh day right now. So it says on the seventh day, God did what?
God ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day
And he rested on this day. Read.
from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day
And God blessed the seventh day. Come on.
and sanctified it,
He sanctified it. He made it separate. He made it holy. Come on.
because that in it he had rested from all his work.
So now, go to Matthew 12, verse 8, because these same religions, they come with strange doctrines. They say, yeah, we know that the Sabbath is the seventh day. I'm going to show you how crafty they are. They say, we know the seventh day is the Sabbath day, but Christ died. So now, we under Christ. You see the confusion, right? But what did Christ say? Read.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 8. For the Son of Man
Christ said the Son of Man, referring to himself. Read.
is Lord.
Is what?
Is Lord
What?
even of the Sabbath day.
Christ never changed the day to worship. It says the Son of Man, he is the Lord of the Sabbath day. He was the one who was creating in the beginning and rested. The Father made his Son Christ. Christ made everything that our eyes can see, visible and invisible. And then he rested. He said, I'm the Lord of the Sabbath day. But the white man, he said, no. It's Sunday now. We're not keeping Passover no more. We're going to keep Easter now. We're not keeping Pentecost no more. We're going to celebrate a revival. We're not going to keep Feast of Tabernacles and Feast of Dedication. We're going to keep Christmas. We're going to keep Thanksgiving. The white man robbed us of all of our culture and then gave us his culture, Americanized, commercialized, and it's all going back to money. And to keep you in pagan worship. This is why we got to reform ourselves and be born again. That's why the Bible says be slow to speak. Because we ain't coming with our opinions out here. We giving you straight scripture. And God said we got to go precept upon precept to get the proper understanding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, my brother? 2 Corinthians 2:16. Because, how y'all doing, sis? Y'all good? So what we're doing right now is going over the scriptures about who we are as a people. Because right now, if I ask you, my sister, what's your nationality, what would you tell me? Your nationality. Your race. What's your race?
What?
You see what I'm saying? You too? You black too, right? Okay, so y'all realize that 10 years ago they called us African American. Before that they called us Afro American. You heard that term before? Back in the 60s they said what? White only fountain, right? White only bathroom. Then they said what? Color only, right? Color only fountain. So our term or our race constantly changes every 10 to 15 years. Y'all see that, right? Y'all don't see a problem with that? Don't that seem suspicious? The Chinese man, he been Chinese since he belonged to that landmass. But our nationality continues to change. Why? Because when it's a lie, it constantly alters to fit the current climate.
That's right.
Liars always change the lie depending on the pressure that's being put upon them. So as we continue to wake up, they got to continue to come up with new terms to keep us sleep.
Right.
So read what God said. Read. 2:16. Read.
2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 16. 17. For we are not as many.
You hear this, my brother? It says, we are not as many. We're your brothers. Read this again.
For we are not as many.
We are not as many in these paths. You got a church on every corner. A church on every corner, and we don't even know what sin is. You know how many people we talk to and we ask them what is sin? They've been going to church their whole life. They can't tell me that sin is when you break God's laws. You know how many Christians eat pork for breakfast? Pancakes, eggs, and pork bacon. You know how many Christians waiting for Easter Sunday to have a big old ham with pineapple and glaze?
I know.
And it's abomination to God.
I agree
It's
with you.
abomination. Read it. Come on.
For we are not as many which corrupt the word of God, but as of sincerity.
We teach the Bible as of sincerity. They killed Christ for teaching this Bible the way we teaching it. They killed the apostles for teaching this Bible and the disciples of them. Them men were martyred. Why were they killed? For teaching what T.D. Jakes is teaching? I don't think so. For teaching, my brother, I'm just asking. I want us to reason together.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
What Creflo teach though? Do you think that will get him killed? No, it's a sweet message.
Right.
It's smooth. It feel good. It make you feel like you want to give some money.
Inspirational.
Exactly. They motivational speakers. But the prophet was not like that. Give me Jeremiah 28 verse 8. Jeremiah 28, because what the brother was bringing out earlier, he was bringing out about the beard. The beard is a badge of manly dignity.
Right.
It's only two people that don't have beards, women and children. God gave you that.
Right.
God is not flawed in his understanding. He don't make no mistakes.
Right.
When he made your spirit, he made it purposeful and intentional. Everything about you is deliberate. The very hairs of your head are numbered.
Right.
Read this, come on.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me,
It says the prophets that was before us, read.
and before thee of old,
And before
Those prophets, read.
prophesied both against many countries.
They prophesied against the ruling countries. America gonna fall. That's the language of a prophet. America will fall for their crimes. America will fall for their sins. America gonna fall for how they brutalized the Northern Kingdom. We on stolen land right now, my brother.
That's right.
We on stolen land, but you need a license to drive down on stolen land. Now all of a sudden they civilized. Come on, read.
And against great kingdoms.
Read.
Kingdoms of war.
They spoke about what?
Against great kingdoms of war
Of war.
and of evil
Of evil.
and of pestilence.
Of pestilence like COVID-19, for example, like monkeypox, like Ebola, all these different things. The prophets prophesied that these things will come to the earth because what? Sin is in the earth.
That's right.
Wickedness in the earth. The earth is upside down right now.
Right. That's right.
So the brothers been out earlier, bro, they never gave us God's laws and commandments, and they taught us that we under grace now. You heard that before? We under grace. Don't worry about them commandments because we under grace. Here's Romans 6 verse 1. We are under grace, but you should be afraid to break God's commandments because you're under grace. I'm going to show you that. Watch this. Romans
I'm
6
agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you,
But
brother.
I'm just a man. I got to back up what I say, my brother. I got to back it up. Come on, read.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
What shall we say then?
Read it slow. Come on.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin?
Shall we continue in sin?
No, we shouldn't.
Because we know sin is when you break God's laws. Shall we continue in sin, read?
That grace may abound?
So we can say, no, we covered by the blood. We covered in grace. Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound, read?
God forbid.
What Paul say?
God forbid.
Read.
How shall we that are dead to sin?
You see, because you said earlier, you said, but we all fall short. Yes, but it's the difference between falling short. Maybe, for example, a young lady walk past, she's attracted to you. Now, Christ is supposed to make a covenant with those eyes and look away, lest you fall to adultery. Because that's how adultery starts, with the eyes, right? But let's say you look, hey, you messed up, right? Okay. Is that the same as you going to the store, buying a pack of bacon, driving home, putting that bacon on the stove, medium heat, cooking that bacon, putting it on your plate with pancakes and eggs? Is that the same as what I just described, or is that willful sin?
Well, I would consider that willful sin.
That is willful sin, my brother. That's willful sin. Saying we all fall short, it groups everybody together. You can't group the sincere with the wicked. You understand?
Let me ask you a question.
Hebrews 10.
Can I ask you a
I'm
question?
listening.
What do, okay, when we fall short, like I sometimes say we all do, when we fall short and we do wrong, what should we do?
I got you. Hebrews 10, start at verse 24. So, I'm going to answer your question, and I'm going to show you some things that we can put in place to help us stay out of sin in the first place. So, I'm going to answer both ways. First, Hebrews 10, verse 24. Come on.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 24.
Bring it up.
And let us consider one another
It said, let us consider one another, right? Come on.
to provoke unto love.
To do what?
To provoke unto love.
This brother ain't finna sin around me. You understand? I'm not about to sin around this brother. So it says, let us consider one another to provoke unto love. This is why God gave us the Sabbath. This is why God gave us the new moon and all the high holy days. So we can constantly come together. Because what? We gonna be accountability partners. So it says, let us consider one another to provoke unto love. Read.
And to good works.
Because nobody is going to sin with his brother right next to him.
Right.
So as you separate yourself from your righteous brother, from righteous fellowship, you're going to be in the midst of sin. That's why the Bible talks about being sensual. Come on, read.
Verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
It said, don't forsake the assembling of ourselves together.
Right.
So don't forget the subject matter. The subject matter is avoiding sin. Assemble yourself. Come fellowship. Come build with us.
That's right.
Keep the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Not Sunday that John Smith gave us, that Joseph Smith gave us, that Ellen G. White. Well, Ellen G. White, she gave us the Sabbath, but God already gave us the Sabbath. She gave us a universal Sabbath. She remixed it and said all nations. God never said all nations.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, and I agree with you. Know, like some people sit up and say, well, you're gonna worship it on a Monday, on a Sunday, or on a Saturday, or whatnot. But guess what? As for me and my reading, I worship the Lord every day.
The reason why it's very harmful for you to say that. I'm gonna show you something.
Okay.
First of all, go hold that. Go to Sirach 34.
Okay.
Bring it out.
Go to Sirach 34 because the brother said he worshiped the Lord every day. It's harmful to the listeners for you to say that. I'm gonna show you why. Sirach 34. Start verse 7. Read.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and 7. Why does one day excel another?
So God says, why does one day excel another? Meaning, why is one day better than this day? You understand? Read.
When as all the light of every day in the year of the sun.
Because every day look the same. The sun comes, the moon comes 12 hours later. Every day look the same. So why is one day special? Why is one day not? Read.
By the knowledge of the Lord.
By what?
By the knowledge of the Lord.
Read.
They were distinguished.
God decided what day was special and what day wasn't. So a man can't come behind God and say, nah. I'm going to worship you every single day. It's impossible because on the Sabbath you can't buy.
Right.
A man got to take care of his household.
Right.
On the Sabbath you can't work.
Right.
On the Sabbath you can't even cook. So how you going to eat? So it's very harmful to everybody for you to say, well, I'm going to worship him every day. On God's Sabbath there's no buying, no cooking, no working, no selling.
That's right.
You understand? It's special because God says so.
Right.
By the knowledge of the Lord, it was distinguished. Read.
And he altered the seasons and feasts.
Right. Based upon the full moon. Read.
Some of them he hath made high days.
Some of them have he done what?
Hath he made high days.
Some of them have he made high days, my brother. Like
That's
today.
right.
Today's a high day. This is not a regular day. Come on, read.
And hallowed them.
And he hollowed them. He made them separate from the rest of the calendar. They are separate from the rest of the calendar. Read.
And some of them he hath made ordinary days.
Sunday is an ordinary day.
Right.
Christmas, unless it falls on one of God's Sabbath, it's an ordinary day.
Right.
Those days are not special. Those days are wicked and pagan.
Right.
So we can't say worship God every single. God never said that. God gave us days to worship, and when we do those things, we show the connection. Give me Exodus 1:16, Exodus 31:16. When we do what God told us to do, we show the connection from earth with our God in heaven.
That's right.
I'm gonna show it to you. 31:16. Read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 31 and verse 16.
Bring it up.
Wherefore, the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath.
No, we're gonna just worship Him any day.
Shall keep the Sabbath.
God said the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath. Read.
That's right.
To observe the Sabbath throughout their generations.
Throughout our generations, from the days of Adam all the way till today, throughout our generations. Read.
For a perpetual covenant.
Perpetual means forever. We never get rid of the Sabbath. We don't give a damn what the white man say.
That's right.
Read.
It is a sign.
It is a what?
It is a sign
The Sabbath days are a sign, an identifier. Come on.
between me and the children of Israel forever.
God said, as long as my people are keeping the Sabbath, that is the sign between me and them. This is why the white man came to give us a new day, Daniel 7:25, because he want to break the bond between us and our God.
That's right.
That's why he gave us Sunday. Daniel 7:25, read.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25.
Come on.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
It says the white man will come and speak great words against the Most High. What great words did he speak? He said God is white. His son Jesus is white.
Right.
No, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it
I'm
real.
just saying that's for
No,
God.
I ain't putting you out there like that. I'm just saying, let's just keep it real. He said God is white. He said Abraham's white. Adam's white. The angels are white.
Santa Claus is white.
The devil is
Everybody's
black.
white.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
everybody's
Santa Claus is
white.
fiction. We're talking about realness right now. You know what I mean? Come on, read this again. Read.
And he shall speak great words against the Most
Come
High.
on, watch this.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
How did he wear out the saints of the Most High? Right here. This is how he wore out the saints. He put collars on our necks, shackles on our wrists, shackles on our ankles. He beat our backs in. What my brother who had his back beat in? Ain't on this one? I think he on the old one. They whipped our backs.
That's right.
It says he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. He wore us out. And then as he wore us out, he said, okay, I'm going to give y'all Sunday off to come learn about Jesus.
Right.
God gave us the Sabbath. He put us in cotton fields for 18-hour days. 6 days a week, and he gave us a new Sabbath.
Right.
He said, you can come learn about white Jesus on Sunday.
Right.
I'm going to give you niggas a break. Read.
And think to change times
And what the white man gonna do?
and think to change times and laws.
So it says he shall also change times of worship. And he changed the laws of the Bible. He says ain't no laws in the Bible except for tithes.
Right.
That's the only law from the Old Testament that he kept is tithes. So you mean to tell me you went all the way to Deuteronomy chapter 14 to retrieve the law about tithes, but you ain't see them dietary laws that was also in Deuteronomy 14?
Right.
Don't that sound suspicious? Right. The same place you find tithes, you find the dietary laws. Ain't that suspicious?
What is a nation?
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word